So welcome. My name is Julie Ponraja and I'm the Student Support Advisor at Humber College. So my role is I coordinate and work with youth. The program that I run is called the Youth Transition Program. And so I help students successfully transition to post-secondary, college, university, or even the workforce. So a little bit about me is I completed my degree at Ryerson University in sociology. And recently I completed my post-grad certificate in career development at Conestoga College. And I also completed the student advising certificate at George Brown College. So I've been to multiple different institutes, both at the at the university level and the college level. So basically today's PowerPoint is just going to be an overview of post-secondary services and support services as well. So the agenda is going to be about advising services, accessing services. We'll talk about the different student resources and services available for students. I'll give you guys some tips and tricks. We'll touch a little bit about financial aid and pathways and advancement. So if you have any questions, do we have a chat box that we can use, or is it just the mic? Whichever one works.
We have the chat box.
Okay, so I guess you'll be monitoring that, right?
I'll be monitoring the chat box. Okay,
so yeah, if you have any questions, enter it in the chat box and then we can answer it, or we'll save it for the end. So let's just get started. So when you're in high school, you guys have a guidance counselor. So I really want to make it very important and let you know that when you enter university or college, you do not have a guidance counselor, you will have an advisor. So you will have an advisor for multiple things. So for instance, if you need assistance with resume writing, you will have to speak to your career advisor. If you have any questions about financial aid or OSAP, you will speak to a financial aid advisor. If you have any program related questions or any specific questions regarding your specific program, you would have to be in touch with your program advisor. So in college, it's different because, for instance, I'm a student support advisor. In addition to myself, there's also academic advisors, there's also program support officers, there's student success advisors, and there's program coordinators. So it's just a matter of you knowing who to connect with and who to talk to regarding your concerns. Whereas in university, when I was in university, the person that I contacted or connected with was my undergraduate program administrator. And so each college and university, different institutions have different people. Like the titles are different, but the work is very similar. They're just there to support you and help you navigate the college or university experience. So it's really important that you know who your person is, who your go-to person is. And it's really important you know who that is because this person will help you review your academic progress and help you create a meaningful plan. This individual will also help you create, if you have any questions or you need help with resources, they will make referrals. So for instance, when I was in university, I was a first generation student. So I was the first in my household to go to university. My parents immigrated to Canada like a very long time ago, but I was the first to go to university in my household. So I didn't really have my parents to lean on for support if I had any questions or concerns. So it was always me. So I had to self-advocate for myself. And so that's really important because I was really young when I went to university. And like I said, I didn't have the support. So I was on probation. I was struggling a lot. And my undergraduate program administrator reached out to me and we had a one-on-one conversation where we worked together. We reviewed my academic progress. We looked at my GPA. We looked at my transcript, I guess you can say, and we created a meaningful plan. So what I mean by create a meaningful plan is instead of doing 5 courses for the fall, which is your typical full-time course load, I did 4 in the fall, I did 4 in the winter, and then I did 2 in the summer. This is a plan that worked for me, and it's just what I ran with because I was working 2 jobs because I didn't qualify for OSAP, but that's another story for another day. But the point is we worked together to create a meaningful plan, and I really feel like I'm successful because I was able to complete my degree because of the help of my advisor, my undergraduate program administrator. So she helped me create a plan, and she also gave me specific referrals. So for instance, if I needed help with if I needed my essay to be reviewed, I went to the writing center and I got feedback from there. She also helped me assess challenges, barriers, and opportunities. She saw potential in me when I didn't see it myself. And studies show that if a student withdraws from an academic program without speaking to an advisor, they're less likely to enroll in another program or even a different institution. It really discourages students, and students often have that mentality where like, you know, I hate school, school's not for me, but in reality, it's just because they didn't have the necessary support they needed to excel in a program. I feel like every student has a potential to be a student. You know, everyone has different interests and things that they're interested in. So, you know, if you go to business today and you realize, you know, business isn't for you, maybe you want to go into a trades program and maybe you like to work with your hands. So like everyone has something that they're interested in. It's just a matter of figuring out what it is. And sometimes it takes talking to an advisor or even an employment counselor or a career coach. It's just a matter of speaking to the right people to help you get to where you want to go. So that's why I say advising is really important, knowing who you are, because they will also give you different options that you didn't think of. When I was going to university, I did sociology, and my goal was after sociology to go to teachers college and become a teacher. But then I realized, you know, my GPA wasn't the greatest, and my undergraduate program administrator really helped me see my path. And that's when I realized student advising is what I'm passionate about, and it sparked an interest in me. I mean, yeah, it's very similar, still in the education alley, but it's totally different. I'm not a teacher, I'm an advisor. So they really help you figure out what you want to do and prepare for next steps. So accessing services is really important. Self-advocacy is something that I always tell students about. Self-advocacy is the ability to, you know, identify your needs in order to effectively tell an individual, tell people information that will be relevant to getting the support that you need. Which is why I always tell students, like, find out who your program advisor is. If your program coordinator is away for the week or something, you need to speak to someone, like find out who that next person would be. You know, when you have that person that you can connect to, you get support academically as well as personally. Like, you become successful because they give you tips and tricks in order to get to where you want to go. And you also create a wraparound supports on campus. And like I always tell people, like, it takes a village to raise the child. So like it takes a village to help you be successful, even if that's academically. And it's always good to have like 4 or 5 people in your corner who are always rooting you on. Because for instance, like my personal story, when I didn't see potential in myself, my undergraduate program administrator saw potential in me, which was really great because it gave me a boost of confidence. I always felt like someone was in my corner rooting for me. In addition to like personal success and wraparound support, you increase your social networks on campus. You also have people that you can go to for support. You start interacting with the community, even you get involved on different activities and supports on campus. And also, in addition to just personal supports, you also get referrals to community services and resources if you need it. It's there, it's available. It's just a matter of you asking for that support, because sometimes there's like about 30,000 students on campus. We don't know what people are going through. You just have to communicate and tell us, just self-advocate for yourself. So this is a picture of We Got You at Humber.ca. So these are a lot of resources that we have at Humber. I understand that a lot of you guys are going to university, so don't get discouraged, but these supports are available for you at university as well. When I was at Ryerson, when I look at this, we had all of them. So we had first year life, so you get connected with a mentor. So at Ryerson, it's called tri-mentoring. You can get access to different supports, different groups that you can join as a student. At Humber, it's Ignite. I believe it's Ignite at Ryerson too. Don't quote me on that, I forgot. We also have athletics and recreation. So at Ryerson, it's not just about like cardio and weightlifting. We also have different courses, different things that you can join, such as Zumba, yoga. So there's different classes that you can join. We also have residence and housing at Ryerson, or even York University. Like different universities and colleges have residence and housing. There's different food services. Accessibility is really important, so I'm just going to talk about that for a few minutes. If you're a student in high school who had an individual education plan, an IEP, or you have a learning disability, remember that your IEP will not go with you to university or college. It's important that you self-advocate for yourself. So before you register into your courses, speak to an accessibility consultant, and mention that you had an IEP, get all your paperwork, and that way they can work with you to create a meaningful plan. So instead of taking a 5 full course load, you can maybe take 2, whatever works for you, but it's just a matter of you communicating that with an accessibility consultant, because we at the university or college level, we don't know that you have an IEP. You have to tell us. For rights and responsibilities, we want all our students to feel included. We want to have an inclusive space. So that's where you go if you have any questions, concerns, if you have any feedback. We always, or any institute, we want to make sure our students feel safe and welcome. So bring that up with them. We at Humber, we have the Aboriginal Resource Center. We have the BASE, which is the Black Academic Students Engagement, Success Engagement. So these are safe spaces for students who identify as Aboriginal, Indigenous, if you identify as Black, African, or even if you don't identify these people, you can go there, you can get to know about the culture. They have safe spaces, study spaces, just a place for you to hang out. And these are also additional clubs. These are free. We also have the International Center. Financial aid is available at every institute. We also have health services. So if you are a full-time student, I believe you qualify for dental and health insurance, but you have the option to opt out if needed. I was so happy when I opted out. If you opt out, you get like a $300 check. I don't know if it changed now, but that's always there too if you have insurance through your parents. There's also career services, and this is really important because, and this one's really interesting because career services is there, and a lot of students don't utilize it until their 4th or 3rd year, until they're done school, because that's when they're like, okay, I'm ready to like fix up my resume. But we're just like, you know, we've been here for you since the minute you joined school. So utilize your career services. Get LinkedIn if you don't have LinkedIn. It's really important, and just go speak to your career advisor, because sometimes I notice that students don't like speaking to their program advisor, and that's probably because, you know, they're in that program, so they don't, well, this is situations that I've had. Students don't like to speak to their program advisor because they don't want to give them the wrong impression. So if you want to speak to a different career advisor or career educator, go to the career services to get a second input, second opinion. We also have campus security. A lot of institutes have campus security, and this is, you know, just making sure the campus is a safe environment. If you feel unsafe, like at Ryerson, if you feel unsafe walking to your car or even the subway station, just speak to someone for security and they'll walk with you to get to your car, get to the subway station, wherever it is that you need to go. It's a matter of, like I said, communicating. And then we also have counseling services. So it's 100% confidential information. You just have to walk in, make an appointment. Every institute has most of these. They're probably not the same name, but they're very similar. So just make sure you attend orientation. It's very important. So tips for success. If you want to be successful in a college setting, university, post-secondary, wherever you go, it is important you meet with an advisor. So I'm going to repeat it again. You do not have a guidance counselor, you have multiple advisors. So there's different advisors for different support services. So it's important you find out who that advisor is, and this advisor will help you, connect you with appropriate services. Make sure you advocate for yourself. If you have any questions, ask for help. There's always someone that will help you. Even if they don't know the answer, they will find out and they will help you get the assistance you need. As a student, it's important to participate on campus events and activities. I was a commuter student, so the minute I was done school, I'd just bolt home, like I'd be on the next subway home, which I regret because, like I said, I had 2 jobs, so I was always at work or school. So it's important you get active on campus, and it's just a neat way for you to build a sense of community, make friends. So building relationships with faculty and staff is really important as well, especially faculty. So if you say, for instance, you decide you want to continue with a master's program, you will always need an academic reference. So keep in touch with your faculty, keep in touch with your professors, yeah, even support staff. So like your advisor, I still keep in touch with my program advisor. She really helped me. And so it's just building relationships and finding or creating study groups. So make friends in your classrooms. And this is really important because, say for instance, you miss a div class, you know, you always have someone to lean on for support, like, can you pass me your notes? Or I don't know. It's just really important to have friends in a class, and also getting mentors. Ryerson, it's called Try Mentoring. At Humber, it's called First Year Experience. So getting a mentor is really important. And so I can speak on Try Mentoring because I did it. So my first year of university, I was paired with a second year student that was in the same program as me, which was really neat because she was able to sell me some books at a discounted rate. She was able to tell me, like, what to expect, which props to avoid, just a lot of tips and tricks that I wouldn't have known otherwise. Just volunteer and get involved on campus. So for OSAP, you have to be eligible. There's a criteria. So you need to be a Canadian citizen, a permanent resident, or a protected person refugee. You have to be an Ontario resident. So you need to be currently attending or entering an OSAP approved program. So all the institutions that I heard earlier, I believe they all qualify for OSAP. In order to qualify for OSAP, you have to be enrolled or you have to be in a certificate, degree, or diploma program. When I say certificate, I don't think Chang School or like continuing education qualifies, but like a postgrad certificate, you do qualify. So in college, you have to be in 60% of your course load to qualify for OSAP, whereas in university, part-time should be available, but just connect with your financial aid representative and they can give you more information. But yeah, that's all the requirements you need for OSAP. These are, you should really take a picture of these different supports. These are financial assistance websites. So Wyconic is a place where you can get scholarships. There's so many scholarships. So for instance, they have you can take a picture, you take a selfie of yourself, you upload it, and you can qualify for $5. The scholarships range from $5 to I think over $1,000, but there's different kinds. So if you're like one of the tallest, if you're a tall person, you get a scholarship. If you're a short person, if you're a first generation student, if you identify as different things, then just check Wyconic out. It's a great resource. There's other ones as well. There's canlearn.ca, fundyourfuture.ca, scholarshipscanada.com. And in addition to these external resources, also if you have a GPA that I think it's called entrance scholarship. If you have a GPA, typically your school will give you a scholarship, but you have to maintain that throughout the 4 years that you're there. In addition to these, schools also have bursaries and scholarships that are worth looking at. So just make sure you fill out a financial aid profile on your account. So at Humber, it's myhumber.ca, you go on, you log in and you create a financial aid, I forgot what it's called, an application, and it will tell you what you qualify for. So it's worth checking out. And those are great because you never have to pay them back. Scholarships, you don't have to pay back, whereas scholarships and bursaries, you don't have to pay back, but OSAP you do. But when you qualify for OSAP, there's grants and there's loans. So grants you don't have to pay back and loans you do. So just be mindful of that as well. So pathways from secondary school. So a lot of you are going to university, but I wanted to throw this in there as well because it is important to know, even after you complete university, for instance, even after you complete university, you can still go back to college to get a postgrad certificate. You can move on and do your master's program. There's so many different options. And if a lot of people that I know, they go to university and they realize, it's not for me, it's not too late. You can always transfer into a college. For me, I completed my degree, and then after my degree, I did a 1-year postgrad at Conestoga College. So I went to college, and then I did my student advising certificate through continuing education. So the point of this slide is just allowing you to know that there's different pathways that you can access as a student. So it's not just university. You can always do university and then college, or university or master's at another different university. So the options are endless. So there's different pathways that you can consider. So for nursing, for instance, you can always do a 2-year college diploma, and then you can transfer into a 2-year university. That's another option that students take. So that way you're getting a diploma and a degree. But the options are endless. So if you ever need advice, you can always reach out to me, or even like an academic advisor at the preferred institute that you're going to for advice on pathways. So this is a great website. It's called ontransfer.ca. So if you want to take a picture of it, and this is really good because, say for instance, you're in, let me see. So you're in no, that's a bad example. So say you're in sociology at Ryerson and then you realize you want to go to U of T for sociology. All you have to do is go into ontransfer.ca and it will tell you which courses that you had at Ryerson will transfer over to the courses at university. That way you can see how many courses you need to do and how many will transfer over. And this is just not for the same program. It can be if you're going from sociology to nursing, you can do that as well. So this is a great website to see what programs transfer over. And that's really it. Does anyone have any questions for me? If you unmute yourself.
Any questions? Anything resonate?
Hi, yes, I do have a question. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for the wonderful PowerPoint and information, first of all.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And I'm thinking I would like to apply for OSAP because like, since I'm enrolling in the Glengoe School of the Royal Conservatory for my BM, bachelor's degree, and the tuition fee is 30,000.
Okay.
But I do have a full scholarship, so it covers that. But I still need it because I have to travel to international competitions and festivals.
Mm-hmm.
So I still need that to cover my financial aid. So is it
you can still apply. I believe is the institute that you're going to in Canada or is it somewhere else?
It is.
It is in Canada. So you can still apply. You can always take the grant and you don't have to necessarily take the loan. Even if you do take the loan, you don't have to use it. I mean, you can always keep that money. It's just what works for you. But connect with your financial aid at your institute and see what they have to say.
Okay, right.
Yeah, but also check out Wyconic because they have great different scholarships.
Okay, right. Okay, so it's possible I could just take the grant and not the loan, right?
Yeah, you can take the grant. You don't have to take the loan.
Okay.
But just make sure when you go on OSAP, you click that option where you just want the grant.
Okay, okay, right. Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Any other questions? Shannon, do you have any questions?
Not any questions, maybe just a comment around the power of speaking to an advisor. It's very important to connect with those on campus who know how the institution functions and how the credits work and how the weight of each course you need to take and what your goals are after you're finished your degree. So I had a friend who was interested in taking law school. She had spent 5 years in U of T as an undergraduate student, and then she just finished with a bachelor's degree. And in order to be eligible for the law programs that she was interested in, she would have to upgrade to an honors degree. That meant she needed to get more credits. And she had to go back to do all of that, but she did it all with the help of an advisor. And the advisor helped her understand like which credits to take. She's a single mother, so she didn't want to be spending her time in unnecessary courses or also taking courses that wouldn't really, that didn't make sense to take. So unnecessary as in like maybe there's just too many credits and things like that. So an advisor would really, really help you kind of identify what your path could be for that next goal. Maybe you want to do a master's degree or a Juris Doctorate, or you're even thinking about becoming a PhD. So all of the career services, all of the resources on campus that Julie was mentioning around getting support from folks who work at the school is very important. Also, that note around self-advocacy. As Julie mentioned, I was also one of the first in my family to go to university. So my parents didn't really understand how to navigate it. They didn't, and my grandma didn't know what my degree was about. She thought equity studies meant that I was gonna go work for a bank. She didn't get what equity meant, in a contemporary manner. So it's just like that lack of connection that sometimes our families have to the programs they're interested in and things like that can kind of be isolating. And then also you might not stay on the right track. And so I think that when you're on campus, outside of the institutional types of resources like the career services, the academic advising, there's also a lot of social clubs and student-run initiatives that you can also get involved in. And that is personally what saved my life. I never really went to an advising appointment. I never felt like that's what worked for me, but the social clubs and the student clubs were very important. And I learned how to navigate the institution from students who had lived experience, students who knew how to write an academic petition, for example, if your grades are slipping and you need a bit more time, you might want, or you failed a class and you want to retake a class, you fill out like an academic petition. If you're having tensions with your professor, sometimes those things happen. Where else can you go to get a fair grade, right? So that's the type of things that I learned from like students in the social clubs, because that's something that they found themselves doing. And when you're in a group where you're just comfortable and able to kind of vent a little bit, you're probably going to be able to find more information about how the institution works. So don't shy away from those opportunities, and the great opportunities to network and find jobs as well through those spaces.
Yeah, I'm going to be very transparent. So when I was in university, I failed a course. I failed a stats course because numbers are not my thing. So I spoke to my advisor and I was like, what are my options? Because this course at Ryerson, like full-time professors teach like specific courses and they're only offered in fall or winter. So that means since I failed that course, I have to wait for the next fall to do that course. I was like, if I do that, it's gonna postpone my graduation even longer. And she was like, you know what, you can take it at a different institute online. You just have to do some paperwork, get a letter of permission. And like in my head, I'm like, I didn't even know about this was even an option, So it really opens up your eyes to your different options. And like, we're just really here to advise you and give you the support you need to move forward. Because at the end of the day, we just want our students to be successful. That's really what it is. So be friends with your advisor. Don't be scared of them. They're just really there to support you.
That's great. And I'm seeing some comments around, so Eric had a question.
Right, just one more question, sorry. Should I repeat it again? Basically, it's like when I went to OSAP to fill in I'm sure you know the calculate estimate part, right?
Yeah.
So like, and for the tuition, like there's a box with tuition. So I filled in 30,000, and then like afterwards, the estimate is calculated and it is zero. So like,
that's just an estimate. I would say just do the application and put in all the information that you need, because this will be more accurate. Do that and then see what your total is, because the estimate, is this the actual one that you did, or was it just the estimate?
No, the estimate. I haven't got the actual one. I'm not sure.
So do the actual form, and then if you have any questions, speak directly with.
Right, I know. I'll speak directly with who?
With your school financial aid. So the institute that you're going to.
Okay, yeah. I did fill out the form actually. And so like later on, like once it was approved, the estimate can be calculated. And and still like, and afterwards, after the estimate, like after I filled it out, it cannot be like recalculated. Like I can't go back to it again. Is there a way?
I think you should be able to go back to it to recalculate. I'm not 100% sure, but do you know, Shannon?
No, I'm not sure either. It's been and OSAP has changed since I went to school.
Yeah.
We used to do paper forms. We didn't have this electronic thing, so I have no idea.
Yeah. So Eric, speak to a financial aid advisor at your institute, and they might have more insight.
Okay.
Yeah, because a lot of things have changed and it's still changing. So connect with someone there.
And like
yeah, sorry, no, keep going.
I was just gonna say that they're also like the low income status, all those types of things have changed. So that would also contribute to why you're getting that that message with the calculator right now.
Okay, right.
So they learn your parents' income, your income, what you expect to earn in the fall and winter. That's probably going to have you get a more accurate, idea of what loan or grant you're going to access.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
But there's other questions about scholarships and things like that. And Hannah has a question. Sorry, Eric.
So Latifa, I can't remember, did you say something about finding scholarships on your school website? Yeah, so for each institute, they have specific scholarships that are available. So if you just Google, you know, for instance, Humber College scholarship, it'll tell you what you need to qualify, and you might have to write a personal statement. So that could be anywhere from 250 to 500 words, but yeah, it's available, just Google it. And then Hannah, what's your
Thank you.
question? No problem.
Hi, thank you for that presentation. And my question is, I already applied for the OSAP, and the OSAP application required their parent tax information, which is I don't have. I just want to know if my OSAP application denied, if I have another options.
So are you a mature student? So are you older than 21?
No, I'm not.
No, you're not. Okay, so in that case, you're going to have to get your parents' information, tax information. If you guys don't have it, just connect with your accountant, because there's specific numbers on your tax form that you need to input in order to get an accurate estimate for your OSAP. Like, that is a must. There's no other way around it unless you're a mature student. That way, that's the only way you don't need your parents' information.
What if I don't have any parents?
That's a good question. That you will have to, like I said, connect with financial aid, because they will probably need your guardian's information. So if you don't have parents, if you're underage, if you're under 18, you're gonna need a guardian, and you will have to use your guardian's income. That's what I believe, but connect with financial aid.
Okay, thank you.
Just one more thing, can I ask?
Yeah.
Like, I'm uncertain if there is an OSAP representative that I can contact. Is there anyone is there any email address or?
Not for OSAP. OSAP has a number that you can contact.
Okay.
Let me see if I can get that. But
Sure.
for your institute, that's like your institute. You have to speak to a financial aid advisor also. Let me see.
Right.
I'm looking for the number.
Sometimes when you call OSAP, they say, call your institution.
That's, yeah.
That's probably, like, that's unfortunate. They'll always answer the phone though, but they'll say, call your institution.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's just because sometimes it's specific for institutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Diane just shared the OSAP link that has.
Okay, perfect.
And Doa has a question now.
Hi, I was just wondering, since most of the schools are going to be online this fall, would it be harder to connect with our advisors and our professors?
No, because we're all still working from home. It might take longer than, like, maybe it'll take a day, 24 to 48 hours, but we're all working from home.
Okay, thank you.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
You'll still have the necessary supports.
Okay.
Any
Great.
other questions?
Yeah, do folks have questions? Well, I just wanted to share then that Hajar in the chat sent me a link to a document that she helped create. Let me just go back to it and see what it's called. It's called Transitioning from High School. And it's a presentation about the different pathways and I guess different opportunities when you're leaving high school and going into university. So I'm just going to share it in the chat more openly for everybody to see. But Hajar, I don't know if you wanted to speak to it a little bit and the purpose behind it. It might be something folks could read on their spare time. Oh.
Yeah, sure. So I was the youth facilitator with a mental health organization in Toronto. They were formerly called Skylark, but they merged and now they're called Luminous. And basically me and a couple of other youth, we decided to create a resource around the transition from high school. So whatever pathway that might be. So like trades, going straight into work, apprenticeship, university, college. So yeah, we decided to kind of just put that into a document to share. And then we talked about like finances. So there's a huge section on OSAP, academics, how to seek help, obviously mental health supports that are available on campus and off campus. So yeah, it'd be great if you guys do check it out and hopefully you can benefit from it. The entire thing was student-led, and yeah, I think it was important to kind of give back. And there were so many things that I regret and so many things I'm so happy I did when I left high school. So we all just kind of wanted to put that in a document and share that. So
So Hajar, I'm trying to click the link and it says 404. It says we can't seem to find the page you're looking for. Were you able to open it, Shannon?
Yeah, I've been able to open it.
I can try to send it again. Let's see.
Oh, I got it. I got it. It's because the one that Shannon sent, there's a period at the end.
Sorry.
No worries. Okay, amazing. Thank you. So wait, can you just talk about your experience? So what did you enjoy? Like, so what would you recommend students do when they leave high school? Because you said there's some things you wish you didn't do versus wish you did.
Yeah, so for me in high school, I felt like I was pampered a lot type of thing, especially with the whole guidance counselor, and even just the high school I went to, I think, because it was divided into like applied academic, I kind of coasted by, I was told by a lot of teachers, oh, you're really smart, you'll do great, whatever, it's fine. But when you get to university, college, whatever that might be, it's a completely different ball game, I think.
Yeah.
And I definitely did not have this skill set like that. The study skills, I think, and the time management skills to
Yeah.
excel in high school and university. So my first semester was really rough in the sense that it was like this huge shock for me. My
It's a
entire
transition.
I was told, you're so great at studying, you'll do great, it's fine, whatever. But I didn't have that skill set that I really needed. So that was one of the big chapters I thought that was important. Obviously, your academics, but also just knowing that there are mental health supports on campus. So like I actually wrote the section on mental health resources. So there's on campus one, there's on off campus. I think that's just useful to know because especially in university, sometimes it feels like you're kind of just a number, but I don't think that's the case. And it can be kind of demoralizing to go to school every day thinking that, especially because I go to commuter school, so it can get really lonely. So yeah, I think it's important to find that balance between school, academics, your finances, your home life, your social life, volunteering, working, whatever that might be.
Yeah, I totally agree. I remember when I was in high school, I was getting like 80s and 90s. And then my first year of university, I was like, who am I? Like, my grades did not reflect me, but that's because I had other factors that were preventing me from doing my best. But yeah, I totally agree.
Mm-hmm. That resonates with a lot of people, I think. So
yeah, I feel like that first year is really a transition.
For sure.
Thank you, Hajar, for explaining that more and sharing a little bit about some of the challenges you had. What did you really enjoy about university in that first couple of years, though?
I think for me, the big shift was after first year, it was getting involved in campus. So because I am doing a double major, I thought it'd be important to kind of explore things outside of the classroom. So really just making friends. Honestly, meeting friends and like just going to the Tim Hortons on campus and like just talking to people for a little while is such a huge thing that I totally underestimated. I used to think, oh, like I can study on my own. It's fine. I can go the entire day without talking to people. It's fine. But it really takes a toll on your mental health and the stress levels I had at school. So I think doing things outside of schoolwork was really important for me. And it took a while to get used to that campus life.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Thank you. I resonate with that because I worked a lot. I was still working while I was in university. And I went to work and I went to school and I was miserable in the first couple of years. And then in the third year, I started volunteering for the Black Student Alliance. And I started going to the Center for Women and Trans People at York University. And after that, I said, I found my people. And so we would study together, we'd laugh together, we'd go for food together. And that year, that third and fourth year was such a tremendous like turnaround. Instead of like basically almost failing, because I almost failed university, I ended up leaving with marks good enough to be able to and be eligible for a master's program, which I entered. So the power of connecting with people and connecting with other human beings, people who are going through the same things, it made the world of a difference for me. And it really turned my circumstances around a lot. And so one thing else I might also mention is Julie mentioned about saving some of the loan money you might get or saving some of the grant money you might get. Like, you don't need to spend it all. I would say, like, save as much money as you can, not so that you're depriving yourself, but save a little bit of any of the grants or loans that you get. Because that time where I was about to fail school, I actually ended up quitting. I didn't work for a semester. That was the first time I hadn't worked since I was 14 years old. So I'd always been working. And I had saved about $5,000 from a scholarship from an entrance scholarship that I got to York University. And that money came in so handy when I wasn't working. So just in case you need to give yourself a break from all of the stresses that you might still have to work, you might need to take a semester off of school. Saving money helps with those types of periods where things are a little bit hard. You have something to fall back on. And don't feel like you have to do it all in one shot either. Like when it becomes mentally taxing, take a break.
Take a break.
There are other services on campus that can vouch for you. Like, so when I needed a break, I went to the Center for Counseling and Disability Services. And I got a letter from them, and that allowed me to get a lot of extensions on my assignments. I used that letter in every single class. And then that was also a ticket to speaking to my educators. So I'm Shannon, I need this accommodation, but also I want to learn about how to be a better student. So those are the types of steps that I had to take personally, aided by a little bit of savings, aided by some of the institutional support that's provided, in order to have a better outcome, because I was legit about to flunk university.
Yeah.
So just don't be shy. If things go hard, if things get tough, it's not about you. It's about maybe you're just burning yourself out, and you're human. You need to take a break sometimes. So yeah. I don't know if anyone has any final questions. We have a few more minutes. Maybe we can do a checkout and see how folks feel about the presentation, and maybe one takeaway. Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's start with Eric again. How was the conversation? What's one thing you're taking away?
No, I think I really learned a lot from this. It was really beneficial, I would say, and like I now know like what I need to be more like looking out about, like need to understand, and the things that like would happen as a very normal kind of situation, or anything like that would be unexpected as well. So I think that it was really, from all kinds of perspectives, it was very essential, and I think it really helped me a lot. So that's a really
Happy to hear.
really great presentation you did. Thank you. Yeah.
Noah?
This was a great webinar, and I learned a lot from it, but one of the most important things are that I thought there was less support at university, because we had a lot of support at high school, and we had our guidance counselors, our teachers, and everyone. I thought I would have less support, but now I know that there are a lot of advisors that I can get support from. So that was good. Thank you for the webinar.
No problem.
Thank you. Hannah?
Thank you so much for the presentation. It was really great and a lot of information in it. One of the things I learned is that like when I was in high school, I always reach out of the school for more information and support. But now I know like more information in school and university. That's very helpful. Thank you.
Thanks, Hannah. Hajar?
Hi, so thank you, Julie and Shannon, for like hosting this and, being as useful as this is. I feel like every year, whenever I start a new semester, there's always sessions like this I'm looking for, just because I want to kind of get a refresher on what's available. So I love knowing about all these different accessibility services, and I actually saved the different financial assistance links that you shared. I've been on YConic before, but I haven't been on it in a while, so I definitely have to go back and check that out for sure. So thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you. Latifa?
Well, thank you guys for the awesome presentation. But what I'm going to take out from this presentation is I'm definitely going to go get support. I never struggled in like high school or like in life to like actually go and get support. So like I'm looking forward, now that I know that like in university they have like a lot of support, I'm definitely going to go find it. So yeah, that's what I'm going to take out.
Good. I hope you do, and not before you, not after you need it, but
Yeah, get it before you get yourself into that position.
Before it. I'll
Yeah.
definitely get it before. Yeah.
And then finally, there was Dennis.
Sorry, I have a bit of connection issues, if you can hear my voice. Thank you for the presentation. It's great. I'm more prepared to understand my university because as of before this presentation, I really didn't know where to get support from or what to look for, but now I do, which is great. And I will definitely, like the other said, use your websites to find more, scholarships and more money I can, use for my hefty tuition.
Amazing.
Thank you so much. And I just wanted to remind folks that this is the first session of, I believe, 4 sessions. So we will do one on financial literacy next time around. So how to manage your money, all that money you're getting from school or from scholarships, how should you spend it, how should you save it? So that's our next topic. So I'm really excited to see everyone again at that. I'm glad folks took away things from this presentation, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of this hot day and your weekend.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you all for
Thank you.
joining, and thank you, Shannon One City, for hosting.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.